recruited by Franklin at Vanderbilt, and then he ended up following him to Penn State. So what about James Franklin did he like so much that he would follow him to another school like that? Like, did you have connections or anything?
At Vanderbilt or Penn State?
Or just to James Franklin in general?
Well, I had a couple guys at times throughout my head coaching career. Cause I coached at another high school prior to Briar Woods. When Franklin was at Maryland as a wide receiver coach and also as offense coordinator. So I knew of him, but that's about it. And they were recruiting some of my players at times, but that was the extent of it. So I guess the connection thing wasn't much. I think what happened was when Trace was getting recruited, he really wanted to play quarterback, and a lot of people were saying, "No, you're too short. You can't play quarterback." And so he was also our starting safety, and he was all-state safety. And so a lot of especially D1 colleges were looking at him at safety. And he got some offers at quarterback, but they were like one double A for the most part. And then Vanderbilt, when Franklin was there, offered him as a quarterback, and they really liked him a lot. And I think that meant a lot to Trace. And so when Franklin left to become the head coach at Penn State, he told Trace to hang in there. You know, they were going to look at their situation, and then they were going to make some decisions on what they had to offer as far as that class that he was going to be in come to Penn State. And so he hung in there, and the quarterback coach, Ricky Ronnie, he also was at Vanderbilt, plus a couple other coaches, and they liked him as well. So they didn't have to say anything to the staff about this guy. That guy, they already knew him because he was being recruited at Vanderbilt, and the staff knew him. So when they invited him up and offered him, that was a no-brainer because he is really attracted to Franklin. If you ever sit down and talk to Franklin, he's very magnetic. And so you're kind of drawn into listening to him, and you want to hear what he has to say next, and that's the way he is. And so he's very energetic, as you guys probably know up there. And so that was a selling point. But the main thing is they were one of the first major colleges to offer him as a quarterback, and they believed in him with his skills to be a quarterback. And so that meant a lot to Trace.
All right. When he was playing for you and you saw that he was getting all these offers from different schools, did you think that he had a better chance to succeed in college as a quarterback or as a defensive back?
Well, what I knew what his heart was all about, and I believed in him wholeheartedly because of what he'd done for us and how he was as a leader and a competitor. And so I wholeheartedly believed in him at quarterback. I would go to all these all-state meetings and stuff like that, and inevitably what I'd hear from the coaches, yeah, he's a good quarterback coach, but he's a better free safety. That's where he's going to make his living at the next level. And I said, yeah, it might be true, but you don't know Trace like I know him. He is a quarterback through and through, and that's what that's what he wants to do. And he's going wherever he ends up going, that they're going to be successful because of what he is. And so I wholeheartedly believed in him at quarterback. So the safety thing was just an added bonus if people were going to look at him. But I always talk to college coaches as if he was going to play quarterback for him.
All right. So obviously he was a great player on the field, but describe what kind of leadership he brought to the team, like in the locker room and off the field.
Trace is not a rah-rah, at least in high school, he wasn't a rah-rah kind of dude. When he spoke, it was like that old commercial when E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens. And so when he spoke out and there was something that he believed in passionately, you knew where he stood in the locker room and stuff like that. And so when he spoke, it was like, wow, this must really mean a lot to come to this game, stuff like that. And then when he was in a huddle, the way he commanded the huddle and telling the players, listen here, I'm going to make this play happen. Are you going to catch the football? Are you going to block your ball for me? Because I'm going to make this play happen. And so your tendency would be leaning towards, I'm going to do whatever I can to be successful because this guy's going to make the play if I do my job, because we knew he was going to do his job. So he kind of led two different ways. He led in a quiet way with his play, and then he led when things had to get wrapped up and get under control. That's when he would speak out and say things.
All right. Now, it's not necessarily the most common thing in the world for a quarterback to be a 4-year starter in high school. So, what about him was so special that you would trust him as a freshman to lead your team?
His fight, his competitiveness, his football acumen. He was well beyond his years. I've only had one other player since I've been the head coach that was close to him, but he still wasn't him because he was a running back. But he started for me as a freshman at a different high school. But Trace's football acumen, his competitiveness, the will to succeed, you can see that early on, and so that's what you want to have out on the field. Now, as he started as a freshman and time moved on, his playbook, his ability to do a lot of things based on what we want to do grew and grew and grew. It was small in the very beginning, and then as he got more confident in his ability as a freshman doing stuff, then it kind of grew from there. But the thing that happened when he was a freshman, the first game of the year, we had a running back that rushed for 1,500 yards and was going to come back. And so we were going to be a predominantly running team with this one running back. He broke his leg on the first carry. The backup running back, he had a Liz Frank injury on his arch of his foot like midway through the second quarter, so we lost our top two running backs in the first game, and so we had to grab a JV kid to throw out there, and in that game, Trace had to will us to win as a freshman. He had to go 80 yards, and with the one timeout, and we drove down the field, and we kicked the field goal with 6 seconds to go to win the game. And so he kind of had to learn under fire from that point. We had to ask more of him. And so he developed his play action game, his passing game. He's always had the ability to run. So we threw that stuff in there with it. And so when the running back came back the seventh week of his freshman year, seventh game, we became a two-headed monster. You couldn't just prepare for Trace. You had to prepare for the running back now. So that's what led us to win the state championship. So starting off, it was his football intelligence, his competitiveness, his will to succeed, and then the fact that he had to learn under fire real quick, and for 4 or 5 weeks, that made us even more dangerous as we move forward the rest of the year and won his first state championship when he was a freshman.
All right, good stuff. Was there a specific play or a specific game that he had in high school when you thought to yourself, like, wow, this guy can really succeed at the next level?